In this section, I would like to take your attention to the design thinking and planning of an IoT system. The first phase is the planning phase. There are many factors that need to be considered in the planning phase. But before we get into that, we need to concretely understand what is the value that we are creating. When you are thinking about an IoT solution or a system, it should do at least one of these three things. Either it should save resources. For example, it could be saving energy, or it could be saving water, something like that. Or it has to perform the job better or more efficiently and bring convenience to the end user or the stakeholders. For example, it could be a robotic vacuum cleaner that will vacuum a house, so that brings a convenience. It could also do a better job, but it is bring convenience as well. Thirdly, it could be something advancing knowledge. Perhaps it will collect sensor data and understand how people move around the city. So basically, this is a data gathering, visualization, and understanding and advancing knowledge exercise. So any IoT solution, in order to make it viable, a business, you need to have either one of these or more within your IoT system. Otherwise, you are going to fail because nobody is going to care. Once you figure it out that your IoT system falls under one of the three main ideas that we discussed earlier, the next is IoT design planning. So you can use these criteria as a template to think about your IoT system. So what is your IoT design product? What is the intended function? For example, smart irrigation, so watering your plants when you're not at home autonomously. Outline the process. So what is the process of the system? And then what are the sensors, actuators, and intermediate device? So basically, you need to sense when the water need to be put on, and then you need to control the actuator, sprinkler, and then maybe you need the intermediate device to do the communication between the sensor and the actuator, because it might also need to connect to the weather API to check whether there is going to be rain. So no point of putting water if there is a tendency or chance to rain. Then you think about IoT protocols, protocol choices. Then what kind of data it is going to be generated, where it is going to be storage, who is going to analyze, and what kind of information you are going to extract. Then you need to think about programming requirements. So what is the device of the function, networking requirements, data management. Then you are looking into security and privacy. You need to look at the security and privacy of the devices, the network, and the data you collect. Does the data you collect violates any privacy, or does it accidentally capture any private information? So you can use these criteria as a template and think about your IoT system and try to fill the blanks. Once you fill it, you will end up with a fully fledged answer sheet that you can expand on. So this is the starting point of your design planning. Now I would like you to focus on this use case on smart stick for blind people. So please read this slide and the next slide, and also watch the 2 videos I have put related to this use case. After that, we are going to develop a business plan based on this use case. If you want to commercialize your IoT system, you always need to come up with a business plan. It doesn't matter whether you are looking to sell to other people, like you are building a smart sprinkler system or security system and thinking about selling to millions of other consumers, or you could be an engineer or a project manager and you are building an IoT solution to support your own company. Maybe you are in a electricity energy sector company, or you are in a hospitality sector, or you are in a healthcare. So you are not planning to sell it to other people, but you are using it to improve your processes. In either case, you need to develop, and in order to develop, you need funding. And then there has to be a value generated out of your solution. If it is for your business, then you need to generate value within your business. Or if you are selling to other people, then there's a reason why other people should give you money for that, which means that there has to be a business case. So this is the template that you can use to develop a business case. First, you need to put the problem. So what is the problem you are trying to solve? Then what is the unique value proposition? Are you better? Are you doing something no one has done before? Are you saving any wastages? So what is the value proposition? And then what is the solution? So you need to have like at least 3 features of your IoT system. And then what is the path to the customers? What are the channels? How we are going to reach the customers? And then how we are going to make a revenue. So what are the revenue streams, revenue model, lifetime value, the gross margins, and then you need to think about the cost of customer acquisition, distribution, hosting, and people, and development cost as well. And then number 6, what are the key metrics? So how do you going to measure that your solution is making a value, or is it better? How do you measure and make a case? And then number 7, what is the advantage you have? Like, can other people copy it? Do you have like a patent, or is it a novel technology that you develop? So what is the advantage that you have? Because otherwise, if someone else has more money than you, they might put more engineers, more developers, and they will develop a better solution than yours. So you may need to think about, okay, why, what avoid the other people developing a similar solution like you. Once you answer these questions, it will create a very comprehensive skeleton to go and further develop a proper business plan. Here is the example business plan for the use case we saw before. Smart stick for blind people. So in that use case, if you develop a business plan by yourself, it probably will look like this. So the problem, the blind people having difficulty getting around in cities and missing out on things. So that is a problem. And then what is the unique value solution? Assist blind people in being independent and achieving more around the city. So that is the unique value. So it is convenient, it brings convenient. And then number 3, what is the solution? A smart walking stick that can interact with pedestrian lights and city maps. So that are the basic solution. And then number 4, how we are going to reach the customers. So you are going to reach through blind association, medical equipment sales shops, and websites. And then number 5 is the cost structure and revenue streams. So the cost structure is the design cost, raw material, software programming, customer acquisition, licensing may be required for maps and other programs, and then the revenue. You could do a Kickstarter funding, purchase a stick and then subscription model, or you pay for the stick, and then city maps and events and advertising around that could be the revenue streams. And then what are the key metrics? So prototype the successful testing and orders for first run. So that will be the key success criteria for the business plan. However, I think it would have been better if you could include a little bit more metrics, such as how do you know that whether this smart stick is working? So what are the parameters that you determine that this stick is meaningful and helpful for blind people? Maybe you could do a user study and ask people to do and achieve a particular task in a city for a blind people, or two groups of people, and then one blind group of people will have this stick, the others don't, and then they perform the task, and you can measure some parameters in terms of the accuracy, time, as well as the satisfaction of the end users. And then the unfair advantage is the number 7. Can't be quickly copied, first to the market. So this solution seems to be one of the first products, so that you have the first move advantage on that. So this is a rough and elementary version of a business plan. So you have the basic information captured, so you can go and expand on these ideas to develop a proper business plan. Unique value proposition is something generic enough to any kind of product. It is nothing special for IoT. When a consumer buys something, whether IoT or not, there has to be a reason for them to buy. So why someone is paying for your product? So in that case, you need to make a case to the buyer. What is the unique value proposition that your product is giving? So for example, there could be many IoT security products like smart home security, cameras, motion sensors, and things like that. So when there are a lot of different alternatives in the marketplace, you need to make a case why your solution is better. So it could be portable, lightweight, convenient to use. So these are the generic ones. There could be many different benefits. But for example, if you take the smart security domain, some of the benefits could be like, okay, my solution can work on battery, or my solution could work on SIM cards, or my solution would have 3 different communication protocols. If Wi-Fi fails, it will work on 3G. Or if the main power fails, it could run for a week with batteries. So something like that, a unique value that other competing products don't have. In IoT, this is quite important because IoT at the moment is more like a product that is not necessary but good to have. Because most of the people might not consider security systems as essential, but it is something good to have if they are good value proposition. Because of that, when you are designing an IoT product, you need to have a strong, unique value proposition to compete to the limited amount of funding the consumers have to spend on non-essential things. We have now reached the end of lesson 8, design strategies and prototyping. Throughout the lesson, we discuss more practical aspects of IoT system design. We talk about different hardware and prototyping, techniques, tools, and then we talk about the impact of energy and how you are going to budget your energy. And then we also talk about business plans and IoT design planning template. I hope you now have a broad set of knowledge where you can apply and develop your own IoT systems.